wanted the world title. I want that. It still means something to me today to be classed as a world champion. I have a lot of fight friends, world-class fighters, guys who become champions, guys who've always said their hardest fight with me was with me, and they began to be world champions. So I've always known I had the ability to be a world champion, but it was about promotion and about selling yourself. And that's the part where I struggled. Once I lost the title, I lost the title to Glenn in the box off. Me and Frank Warren. Frank Warren was my trainer, and Glenn Catley was the challenger. And even though we're both from the same camp, he was the money. So I had to fight him on his grounds, in his country, in his town, and that was when the changeover was about to happen. But that was boxing. I understood that, and I got injured now. I had a back injury. I'd injured my back as a kid. I'd broken my back as a child. I hadn't known I'd broken it until I was 30, after the Steve Collins fight, when I had an incident where I had to go to the hospital, and they found out that I'd broken my back, which I always knew I had an injury, but I didn't know I'd broken it. And they call it a dog collar. Part of it had broken off, and it gave me too much movement. And if I'd overtrained, I'd antagonise that. That's why it was important that I didn't overtrain, and hence injuries. So when I finally lost the title, it was due to really an injury as a warrior. That's what I would say. I wasn't moving as well, and people know me as a fighter. They could see I wasn't moving very well. And then I lost the title. And from that point onwards, I wouldn't get the fights that I wanted.
I think Neville Brown's taking rather too many. Mickey Van's there in the corner, and he stopped it. And Glenn Catley gives these fans what they want, because he is the new British Middleweight champion. And Neville Brown's long, proud reign is over. And it may be a cliche, but it's been given meaning here tonight. Neville Brown went out on his shield.
So I remember training 10 weeks for a fight as a rematch with a chap called Sam Solomon. And I didn't care. The promoter said to me I could have the fight, but I wasn't going to get paid a lot for it. I didn't care. I just wanted to get a rematch back with him in the ring, get this title, come over, whatever it was. And I wanted to prove to people that the first time we fought, that wasn't me, because the weight loss and drain, it was too short a notice, 3 days notice for a fight, and you can't perform at that time against a quality chap, which Sam was. So I trained for 10 weeks, and then phone calls started going off. Nev looking good in town, looking good in the gym, and next thing you know, the fight just disappeared. And I've trained for 10 weeks now. Stopped university to train for 10 weeks, and then obviously I couldn't get on with my life now. And that's the battle that you have. That's why we need that sponsorship behind us to get us educated, get us part of the training now should be fulfilling that side of it, something to do after we finish boxing. Otherwise, we're trying to reinvent ourselves.
Well, Neville Brown, brave as always, but was it just tonight you were beaten by a younger, fitter fighter, possibly?
There's always that possibility, but I don't think so, personally. 3 days notice, 4 days notice, if you call it Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. Stone overweight, didn't know who the chap was. And I thought, if I don't go for this title, I ain't going to get the title in. I've had offers of WC, at least 5 titles. You've seen what's happened with this last one.
Is it all credit to Sam? What did you know about Neville Brown before?
All I can say is I train hard, I take no one lightly, and when I heard I was fighting Neville Brown, all I hear is, you're fighting the champ, you're fighting the champ, he was the champ. I said, then I better train hard for it, yeah?
At one point, I came out from the game. I felt a little bit disheartened by not getting the world title and getting the proper challenges that I thought I deserved. I put an honest effort in all my years, and I thought to myself, I love the sport, and I want. But I thought I didn't know if I wanted to go back into boxing. It's kind of a love-hate relationship for myself. It was kind of like I love the sport, but when I hear the bell go and I hear the crowd roaring, it's like an old flame that you've never got over. I think that's the best way to put it. You see an old flame, someone you used to love, and you were together, and you've moved on, but you haven't actually moved on. So that was the kind of feeling I had. And then I'd get fans saying to me, when you're coming down here, when you can start training? And it then came home to me that this is kind of all I know. A lot of people told me off for that, but it's something that I have an ability to teach on a level where people are fascinated with what I do and how I teach it and how I put it forward. And I've realised that I can help so many people through the mentoring that boxing brings, the life skills that you learn from the game. And strangely enough, it's not what people think it is. It's not about being a tough kid, being able to hit hard. It's got nothing to do with that. It's about finding that champion within you. And I'm able to train people, and I can use their knowledge of boxing. I can use off the ropes in life. So in life, sometimes you're on the ropes. It doesn't have to be in the ring. Everybody understands what that means. And I can use people how to fight off the ropes, how to find their inner strength by using the boxing as a vehicle. And I found that I'm helping so many people. I have hundreds of champions. Yeah. One day I'd like to have a boxing champion that's professional in the media doing something, but that would mean getting a gym, and it'd mean a lot more responsibility, which right now my family's priority number one. But I can feel that's the next big step in my life, to get a gym and train people with this new, I call it a fascinating way. It's an insight to how you perform and why you do what you do. I went through a lot of time where I was trying to find out what do I do in life. Do I continue boxing? And when I thought I need to really sit down and think, how can I become something special and stand out like I did as a fighter? Because otherwise you become, as you retire, you become like just another Joe Blogs, another number. You're just clocking in. And I thought, I need to be doing something with my life. So I looked at my career, and I looked at where I went wrong, and I looked at how to teach the boxing, and I thought, wow, I see a different way of teaching boxing that clearly works. So I decided to call it NBP, Neville Brown's philosophy. And I was able to connect with children, men, women of different ages, of different abilities, and I was able to get winners out of them. And it's teaching them how they think and how they work and how they go through life, what habits they're creating. And through a sporting aspect, teach them life skills. And in a way that they can have a hands-on approach. So not just sitting in a room and talking, we actually get them in there and they take part and they actually feel like fighters and know what it feels like to be a fighter or a sportsman. Because I think everybody's fighting in their life to be better than the next. We all want to be good at something we're doing, and I think that's what my philosophy teaches. It finds the champion within them and they excel. And it's just, I've met so many children now and I've changed their lives around. I've met adults and it's changed their life around through boxing as a sport, but as a vehicle towards life, crisis management type things, critical situation in life where maybe they're on the ropes in life, and I teach them how to use the energy and how to think through this program, but as a sporting aspect, and then they can kind of reflect it back onto their own life and say, right, I get it. I'm on the ropes now. Where do you want to be? I need to see the door. I need to be able to spin off the ropes, get off the ropes. And so from a business side and a life side, I'm able to get people to see themselves and see a way out and to get to that champion place, a championship feeling. My children are my greatest achievement. And I've taught them boxing because they see it around it. They see it all the time. They see what I've made through my life and the accomplishments I've done. And they're still young, and I don't want to push them. I don't want to put pressure on them to be in my game, because it's got to be something they want to do. I think my boy Tig, he's your boy, isn't he? And so therefore, you kind of look to him to continue the walk. I didn't get there, he could. Yeah? But I realise there's more from boxing you can gain from, and that's what I'm teaching Tig about. And my daughter. My daughter's also a good fighter. She's doing stuff as well. And now that world's opened up now, so you never know if she would want to go down the road. And I teach them the honest way. That's the only way I know. And I teach them how hard it's going to be and how to get through these problems and how to learn from these events. And they're already doing it now, so I'm happy I'm on that track. Only time will tell. I always say my son, I'm a daughter, but I always say my son, you're better than me. And he goes, wow. I go, you're a better version than me, of me. I mean, I always say something to get that sense, to make it sound correct. I say, well, put it this way. I'd never even threw a punch by the age of 12. You're 8, 9, 10 years of age and you know more combinations than I do. So in theory, you're ahead of me.
Marvellous, he's done a great job. He's on the floor. He'd been on the floor with Collins, got up and battled back. But look at the finish. Look at the finish. Marvellous. Can't fault them. Done a great job.
I love the boxing and I love the fighters. I just wish they'd fight each other. I just wish they'd get in the ring. I mean, when we look back at the Sugar Ray Leonards and Roberto Duran's, the reason why they were so highly spoken about and highly respected is that their businessmen got them in the rings. They wanted to fight each other. They wanted to be the best fighter in the world. Today, we're cramped with the fear of losing. We're looking for fighters with undefeated records, 29 fights undefeated. Looks good. But when you look down their ratings, they've not boxed anybody yet of any caliber. And this doesn't help the fighter. But from a business point of view, it is doing it. It's almost like they're afraid to fight each other because it's a business first, and you're not going to get away from that. And I think in doing so, that harms boxing.
And Brown knows now that he may have this man really going. There is Bedlam here. Sharifi hardly knows where he is. The referee from Belgium taking a very, very close look. Only 12 seconds left in the opening round. And again, Sharifi has to take an 8 count.
Unfortunately, to me, I might be wrong, but to me, in order for change, someone has to lose. And they're not willing to give that up. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. And until somebody has the courage or the money or the foundations behind them to put this together, boxing is going to continue the way it is. And that's a shame. I mean, you look at the likes of, this is my thinking, but you look at the likes of MMA, it's getting, I don't particularly like it. It's a bit brutal. From a boxer's point of view, it sounds strange, but it's a bit on the floor, banging away, and the brilliant skills there. But they've got it right, because if a fighter loses, he doesn't fall down the rankings that far. He's still considered a champion. I don't care. I would like to see Mayweather and Pac-Man fight, right? I don't care if Mayweather loses. He hasn't lost anything in my eyes. He's still Mayweather. Whereas if a guy loses, he falls off the chart. And that scares them, and that doesn't work. He's still a champion. Mayweather lost tomorrow against Pac-Man. He's still Mayweather. It just makes an intriguing fight. The next one even better, because I believe, as you said earlier on, if a fighter loses, that's when he looks at himself. That's when he analyzes himself. That's when he becomes bigger and better and stronger. I think Kawasaki, had he lost, I think we'd have seen even better Kawasaki. If Mayweather loses, I think we could see even better story behind the next victory. At the moment, they're just picking their fighters and they're picking safe fighters, and it saddens me.